Well, beautiful people, best damn nation. It is Wednesday, and you know what time it is. It is the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. I am your humble host, Brian Renegade, and with me, I have the best damn crew. First of all, if you see this man in a dark alley or parking lot walking up to your car, run. He will beat you up and throw your ass in the trash can. He is the green-eyed bandit. He fights people. Sometimes he bites people. He's your mama's favorite wrestler, and he can whoop your daddy ass. The one and only Roosevelt. What's that?
What's happening, there, brother, man? Hey, let me tell you something. When you say that I'm willing to take a man's car, I am, because I need one. I need one bad. So, watch yourself. Watch your back.
Watch yourself at the grocery store.
Absolutely. What's going on, man? How you feeling? How you living? What's going on? How the family?
Oh, man, I'm blessed, brother. I appreciate you asking. You know what I'm saying? Feeling good. Actually, I'm a little under the weather, so if I sound a little stuffy, please forgive me. But, all is well. We got a special guest in the house. I'm super excited about this. Roosevelt, please do due diligence and introduce our esteemed guest.
You're excited. I'm excited. I'm sure he's excited. Man, let me tell you, this is my best friend in the wrestling business in the world. This is my little big brother. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy right here will step in the ring with you and push you to extreme limits and make you either rethink life or want to do better in life. Either way, we're going to push you to some type of extent. Ladies and gentlemen, I have one of the most need to be talked about talents in the world. My good friend, my boo. That's my boo. This is Sean Cruz. What up, bro?
What's up, man? I tell you what, that's a good introduction. I need you to be introduced to me for all my matches. I'm gonna take you on the road.
Absolutely. Just make sure the money's in the envelope.
Oh man, Sean Cruz, man, it's great. Good to have you on the show. Actually, I've been wanting to have you on the show for a long time. I've been begging Roosevelt, like, man, get in contact with Sean Cruz. Make sure we can get him on the show. I don't even think you knew that, but I've been asking him for a while. And finally asked you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited that you're here, man. We want to get to know more about the great Sean Cruz. Matter of fact, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm great. Like, I'm on top of the world. I mean, I say that as I'm sitting here with a possibly cracked rib and a pulled back muscle. But yeah, other than that, I'm great.
Did you get that getting out of bed this morning, or just?
You know what? No, I actually got it doing some training. Well, I started getting it doing some training, and it got finished off by something I don't know if I can talk about on here or not. So,
yeah.
We'll leave that to y'all.
Keep the family friendly.
Let's just say it was a different kind of one-on-one match.
I got you.
I'll tell y'all that story off there. She's over here flexing. Yeah. But no, it's been bothering me, man, for probably like 2 weeks. I mean, I've still been working out. I've still been training. You know me. Like, I don't stop.
Oh, man. I called you the Iron Man Sean Cruz for a reason, man. I call you that for a reason.
Yeah, because I went 60 minutes with this sucker right here.
Oh, man.
I don't think, you. I don't think nobody else can do that. I ain't seen nobody do it since.
I'm going to be honest with you.
I don't know what's wrong with them. They keep running, bro.
I'm sure they do. I'll do it again.
Oh, man.
We'll do a full crowd this time. Like, I'm down. You know me.
That was a great match. Well, if you guys don't mind, I got a clip or two of that match. Would you like to watch that?
Absolutely. I watched the whole thing last night. I ain't gonna lie.
All right, let's check this out, man.
Set up my projector. I had some popcorn.
We need this again, man. Let's check this out. This is the Iron Man match between and this was an interesting time period because Roosevelt, he was just changing into Roosevelt and becoming who he is now. And so this was an interesting turn point because he was changing from Victor Andrews to Roosevelt in this time, man. So let's check this clip out of Sean Cruz. versus Roosevelt.
Get up!
Get up! Get your ass up! Let's see it! Let's see it! Hit the Winnipeg!
Every damn second.
Every damn second you get these haters. You getting this ass whooping every second of this match. Oh my God. He gets double hooks. He lifts them. Oh my God. Tiger driver. 1, 2, and Victor Andrews still has energy to kick out. What are these guys made of? His shoulder hairline, sugar spice, and everything nice.
But nobody kicks out of that.
Nobody kicks out of that. Victor Andrews just kicked out of it. He's just different. He just made a different material. I mean, by God. I got the money. By God, what are we watching? We are watching the match of the century. This is absolutely breathtaking fight. These guys still are going at it. Oh, I thought he was going for another spine buster, but Sean Cruz put the brakes on that. He said, not today. You will not do that today. Buckle bomb from Victor Andrews. Oh my God, that hurt my armpits. I did not like that at all. Ref, get out of the way or you will be ran through. Oh my God. They are throwing everything at each other. Knees, please. Victor Andrews is going on the up. Oh my God. That was just mean. Thank you, ref. Why did it take you so long to check on that man? Did you not see his knee get driven through his skull? Did you not see the same thing that we saw? Somebody call the ambulance. Because it's somebody that's going to need a ride to the hospital after this. Call the ambulance.
Yeah. Get up, Sean. Come on. You better keep fighting.
Get up, Sean. Come on.
Hit you, Dad.
Hit me.
Come on, Sean.
He says, come on, Sean. Hit me.
There it is.
And Sean just hit me with a solid one. That slap to the chest. Oh, my God. Another strong forearm. Another chop. This is absolutely insane. Oh my God. Mr. Everything with a solid punch that can break through a concrete wall.
Everything, Sean! Let it go! Don't get up. Stay down and listen to this. Don't get up.
Listen to him. Just stay down, Sean. Just let it go like loose bowels. Just
20 plus. You're good enough.
Oh my God.
You're good enough. I don't care what they say. Look at me. Get up. You look at me. I told this because you're good enough. 60 minutes? Name one person out there to go 60 minutes with me. 60 minutes? You're good enough. I don't care what you've been through. None of it matters anymore. You see that lady right there? You see her?
Who? What lady? We want to see the lady too.
Yeah. Come and see this. You're good enough.
You are good enough. I mean, this match is absolutely insane.
No more doubts. No more second guessing. You have a bad match, so what? Have a bad match. You have a great match, good. Go have a great run. But you keep going. I don't care how much you hurt. I don't care how tired you are. When you get tired, you see me on your neck.
We're down to the last minute.
You better feel me on your neck every time. And if I ever hear one time that you gave up,
understand me? Now fight me, bastard!
We're down to the last few minutes of this battle. And these guys are throwing wood. They are throwing bombs. This is absolutely amazing. It's just a barrage of punches. Wow. All I can say is wow. All I can say was wow. Listen, that was a very emotional battle, man. And like you can feel that you guys left it all in the ring. I want to get your response to that because, like I say, I saw that match. I think that was one of my favorite matches that I've seen last year. And man, just the emotion and the brutality that you guys put in that match, man, it was absolutely a work of art. But how did you feel after that match?
Me?
Yeah.
Man, exhausted. Like I've been through like 3 car accidents. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I know he went and trained like 2 hours afterwards and did some other stuff. I think it took me like 3 days to recover from that match.
Wow.
But that's because he's an alien. He's a different animal. We know this. Yeah, man. That honestly, like that match means more to me than anything I've ever done in my entire wrestling career. And I hate that not. I think it was like 350 something views. I think is what he got on his YouTube. More people need to see that. More people need to see that emotion, that physicality that we're both capable of. Because I think it would open a lot of eyes for both of us. So, on both of us, it would shed a lot more spotlight on both of us and what we're capable of. And the fact that we just went out there and put it all on the line and just did what we do, what we always do. I can't think of a bad match that me and him have ever had together, ever. We bring out the best in each other.
Yeah.
And yeah, it honestly, like it re-energized me. It reaffirmed everything that I'd always been feeling inside. But when you're getting all these outside influences, because I'm straight up right now, call it shoot, call it what you want to. There's plenty of people in this business that do not like me for whatever reason. Some I've given reasons not to. Some do it off stuff they've heard. Some do it off stuff that happened to a buddy of theirs, and so they want to jump on the bandwagon. I'm going to say this. I'm pretty sure I know every single person who talks shady behind my back and smiles to my face and shakes my hand. And I just want everybody to watch this. I want them to know I know. Trust me, I know. But you ain't going to stop me. Nothing's going to stop me. After going through that, 60 minutes of that, if I got through that, ain't nothing going to stop me. So you say what you want, talk to whatever promoter you want, make up some bullshit, whatever you need to do. But, like, I ain't stopping. I'm going to keep doing what I love to do and what I personally feel like I was put on this earth to do. So that's what that match means to me, and that's what that match did for me. And I'll always be grateful to Roosevelt for accepting the challenge and stepping in there with me.
Yeah, man. I mentioned offline, man, that right after that match, I saw an emergence of Sean Cruz, man, and the character that you are now. Not a character, but you are more of yourself than you've ever been. And I can tell from watching some of the matches that you've had last year, man, that you really felt alive and energetic in the matches that you were putting on. And I want to say it's credit to that match, but I ain't gonna say that. I just think that you had a great year last year, man. And we're excited to see what you do, man. Let's see, over on Instagram, let's see, Brandon Dawson. I envy these two gentlemen. Being in the ring has always been a dream of mine. I'm 43, but I think I can go. People don't understand what wrestling is psychologically. Wrestling presence, athletic ability. These two guys made me want to get in the ring. Salute both these two gentlemen.
Appreciate it, man. Hey, I'm 43. So hey, it ain't never too late. You don't just because you're a certain age don't mean you can't do it. I mean, I started when I was 19, but I'm 43, so I get that. But yeah, that's awesome, man. Definitely appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. Why do you think that you and Roosevelt have pushed each other so hard in the wrestling business?
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure you've heard the story before, but I'll tell it again briefly. We used to hate each other. We used to absolutely, like, he was the Joker to my Batman, whatever you want to call it. He was my arch nemesis. We got off on the wrong foot because of some he said, she said stuff, just like what happens in this sport all the time. And we were ready to fist fight each other over some dumb mess. And one day I was booked on a show with him, and my table was set up beside his, and I walked up to him, we talked, we hugged it out, and ever since then, we just been brothers, man. And he's the one guy that has always been there pushing me when I'm doubting myself, when I'm doubting my ability, my creativity, or if I go out and have a match and it's 99% perfect, but that 1% is all I want to harp and talk about. He's the guy that's like, let it go. Let it go. Don't stop. Just like he did on the match. I mean, you saw that. That's him. You know, and it ain't just me. He pushes everybody to be better. Like, straight up. Like, this business, this sport, whatever you want to call it, is a better place because of Roosevelt.
Man, don't blow his head up too much, man.
I'm being honest, man. I ain't got to. His ego is bigger than mine, and that's pretty bad.
He will not fit on the screen. Oh, man. I got to ask you.
His reputation is where his legend is. There's dudes that will not even talk to this man or will not step in the ring with him just because of something somebody heard. Not a bad thing, but like, he's so good at what he does and he makes it look so vicious and violent. There's people that are legitimately afraid of this man.
Yeah.
You know?
Y'all ain't got to be afraid.
Especially afraid to train with him.
Yeah.
Which I've done that. I'll say would not recommend unless you like puking.
Come on, man.
You know it's true, man. Come on.
He do the weird ass Terry Crews workouts.
Man, brother had me sprinting and running like I was in the combine, the NFL. Like, he hits me up one day. He's like, "Hey, man, you want to work out?" I just got through eating. He's like, "You want to work out?" I was like, "Oh, we're gonna hit some weights." Okay, I can do that. Then we get there. He's got me dragging him with a band, like he's holding on to it and like throwing medicine balls at me, and like I was like, "Man, no, I probably should be training that way because it's good for an athlete." But man, give me some weights, bro. Like,
yeah, I thought today was arm and back day.
I don't know. Kill Sean Cruz Day. That's what it was. It was fun though, man. I will say this though. Anybody ever watching? Push yourself. Push your body to the limits. Because the human body, you would really be surprised what you can do. And everybody gets to that point where they're just like, I'm done. I'm gonna quit. Keep pushing. Keep pushing, man, because you'll really surprise yourself.
Absolutely. Great words from Sean Cruz. Sean, I got to ask you the general question that we ask everybody, but it's always different from everybody of when I ask this question. But when did you fall in love with wrestling?
Oh, let's see. Well, when I was a kid, obviously I loved it. I'm a big superhero guy, as you can tell behind me. I got all the Batman and the superhero stuff. And I looked at wrestlers as like superheroes. That's kind of what it was. And back in those days, I was a Warrior guy because, you know, the look, the flash, the promos, all that, you know. I wasn't never that much of a Hogan guy, but I mean, you know, Hogan was Hogan. But I love the Warrior just so much. And I watched it up until the point where I think it was when Taker came in. Him and Warrior were having their feud. He put Warrior in the casket, and like it was air sealed, and like he was going to kill him and all this stuff. And I guess that was just too much for me. Because after that, I quit watching. I was out. And I was out for a long time, man. I didn't come back until 96, maybe 97. So growing up, it's funny because I grew up in the South. I grew up in the Carolinas. Never watched WCW. I know it's Flair country, Horseman country, NWA country. Never watched any of that. We didn't have cable. So it was local television, you know, WWE, Saturday Night's Main Event, Superstars, that kind of thing.
Right.
So first time I ever saw Nitro was right after Diamond Dallas Page won the Battle Bowl and somebody stole his ring. I remember that was the first thing I ever saw was the promo he did, the interview about that. And right after that was when like Black and White Sting, NWO, all that blew up. And then over on Raw, of course, you had Austin McMahon and the Attitude Era. So I came back in at like the absolute perfect time. Yeah.
I think that was one of my favorite periods of time for wrestling, other than this period, obviously, because it's just overload of wrestling right now on every circuit. Can you talk about the independent scene right now that's in on the actually all over the world, but can you talk about the independent scene?
Well, I mean, I got a love hate with the independent scene. I mean, there's a lot of really good quality promotions out there, but then there's a lot of places that, I personally don't feel like should be running a business because they don't know how to run a business, and that's what wrestling is. It's a business, period. I'm not going to name names or anything like that. Whatever. But it's like I said, it's a love hate, but it affords us the opportunity to go out and do what we love and perform. On that level, which of course you can't. Yeah, it's possible to go like from ex-NFL player to WWE superstar, but a lot of guys have to go through the indies, and especially now with the merger with TNA and WWE, and the way I guess Paul's looking at indie wrestling again and bringing those guys. Like it's a really exciting time. You have a chance to be an indie wrestler and get to the big times. So I mean, overall, yeah, it's a good thing. I wish more people would go to indie wrestling, and just be entertained, man. Just go and have a good time. Don't think about preconceived notions. Don't think about the like mature stuff they did in the Attitude Era, because there's people who still won't watch wrestling now because they think we're running around going suck it. You know what I mean? We're
Right.
flipping people off. Like, it's the truth. Which now there are some shows where we can do that. But yeah, I think right now probably the indie scene is as hot as it's ever been. And there's so much talent out there. So much talent out there. And it makes it harder to get seen and noticed, but I think at the same time it gives you a better opportunity as long as you can get on the right shows and you can get in the ring with the right talent.
All right. Speaking of getting in the ring with the right talent, man, can you talk about some of the great matches that you have and some of the more notable people that you've been in the ring with?
Well, it's funny you mentioned this because this is actually a huge pet peeve of mine, and it's the reason that the chip on my shoulder is not a chip this year. It's a freaking 2x4. The one thing I haven't done a lot in my wrestling career is work with names, guys that have been to WWE, the guys who are currently at TNA or AEW. I've been on plenty of shows with them, but I've just never been put in those matches. And it's not because I can't protect them. It's not because people don't trust me with them. It's just, I don't know. But I've had the chance to work with Barbarian. I've worked with George South in a tag match before, never one-on-one. I've worked with Ricky Morton in a tag match before, never one-on-one. That's two I'd love to get off the bucket list this year, just being honest. Guys like Heath, guys like Rhett Titus, Eve Fodder. I mean, anybody. Like, I just want the best of the best. Like, my whole thing, my career, well, at least the last few years, has been getting in there with what they call the green guys, the new guys, the rookies. And, giving them experience and kind of showing them how to do things. And that's great. And I love it. I love teaching. I love seeing that light bulb go off when you put that together. But, man, I'm not done. I'm not done showing what I'm capable of. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've not had the opportunity to get into the ring with the Austin Aries like Vic has, which I was there for that match. That was one of the best matches I've ever seen live. It was incredible. But I want somebody to give me that opportunity because I'm capable of it. I can go with anybody, and I know that. I know that 100% without a doubt. But yeah, so I've not worked with as many big names, honestly, as I'd like to.
Talk about from the moment that you started training and the transitions you've made in terms of, for lack of a better term, your character, right? Your persona, the different stages that you've gone through to going from what was like the underdog to who you are now today.
Man, so that is the, I guess, Achilles heel of my wrestling career, is the fact that I've never been able to nail down a character or persona. Like I've said before, I'm not the cowboy, I'm not the rock star, I'm not the hippie, I'm not the whatever. I'm just not that guy because me as a person, I'm a lot of everything. You know what I mean? Like I can't, even in my own personal life, like when I was growing up going to to high school and everybody's like wanting to go to college, and I just couldn't figure out, like, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? And it's the same thing with wrestling. You know, I joke a lot of times that Malenko, which of course huge inspiration of mine, was the man of 1,000 holds. Well, I'm the man of 1,000 gimmicks. And I think that, quite honestly, that's what's hurt me a lot, is the inconsistency. Like, just when people are starting to get to know this one thing, you know, for whatever reason, I lose confidence in it. I switch it up. I mean, when I started, I was Shawn Michaels. That's what I wanted to be. I used a super kick. I did all these things. He was a big, you know, inspiration of mine. And then it transitioned from that into, at one time I was calling myself Mr. Metro, because the whole metrosexual thing was going on. That's when I had hair. Me and the guy who trained me were tag team when I was doing that one. Like I said, I've done the underdog thing. The underdog thing is really true to what I am or was, because like I was always the smallest kid in school. I was always picked on. I was always the one picked last for everything. You know, I was the underdog. And the funny thing with it, though, is the singlet, I only did that because I wasn't happy with where I was physically. So, you know, I covered the belly and all that stuff up, and until I got into the shape that I wanted to get into. And to be quite honest with you, like, I never really thought about being a wrestler as a career. Like, I wasn't that guy that was in the crowd at Raw or something at 12 or 14 years old. It's like, Mom, Dad, I want to be a wrestler. That wasn't me, man. Like I said, I was 5'3" when I was in high school. You know, I wasn't Rey Mysterio. I couldn't do those things physically. And I just did it because it was fun, man. It was fun. My buddies were doing it. You know, it was a boys club type deal for us. And a few years in, I started taking it more seriously. I started working out harder. I started studying tape. I started doing all these things that you need to do, you know. Then I've done a lot of things and shot myself in the foot, you know, because I'm the world's worst of being my own worst critic, and I can't get out of my own way. But all that's done, because I'm telling you, this year is different. This year is just me, 100% authentic Sean Cruz. Like the shirt says, you can keep staring, because that's what people love to do. They love to stare at me. They love to try to figure out who I am. And just like even on social media, man, people's like following your stuff and they'll even tell you in person, but they don't like it. They don't share it. They don't comment on it. It's like they're just staring and lurking. So that's what I'm going to let them do, is just keep staring, and I'm going to show you why you should be liking and commenting and following my stuff, and why you should be putting me on those lists of the top guys in the state or the top guys in the country, or your list for 2025 of who you want to get in the ring with. You know, that's pretty much what it is now. It's been a 20 plus year search of me trying to find who I am, not only as a person, but as a wrestler, you know.
Absolutely. A while ago, you talked about inspiration, and you mentioned Shawn Michaels. Another guy that we're very familiar with, I know has been a big inspiration to you, because you expressed it to me many times, was Shane Martin. Let's talk about Shane for a second.
Man, I'm going to try to get through this. Shane, like I've said to everybody, I even said it publicly the other day on Facebook, he's literally the only guy from day one that I met him in the wrestling business, that the times that I stepped away for personal reasons or injuries or whatever, he's literally the only guy who stayed in contact with me the entire time. And that always meant something to me. Like, he would always text me or call me, and he was immensely talented. He was immensely underrated. He was another guy, like we both had that Napoleon complex, that little man syndrome. He was shorter than I was, dude, but he was built like a brick shit house. I mean, dude was swole, you know, and of course he was military. So, you know, he put his life on the line serving our country, and that kind of hindered his wrestling career a lot too. He had some of his own personal things as well that got in his way, just like I have. And then we shared such a bond, man. And like, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about him in some capacity, man. Like, yeah, you know, and the way we lost him was absolutely unnecessary. And the worst part about that is I literally talked to him every day. But at the time of his passing, I'd injured my knee. I had surgery. I was done. Like, I was 38, 39. I was like, okay, I'm done. And I opened up a comic book store. And he came and saw me. It was a few days, actually, before he passed. And we got to hang out and talk, and I got the picture because you always take the pictures because you never know when you're going to see your friends again. And right after that, it got so busy at the store with everything that I think it was a week or two went by, and I didn't text him or call him. And when I heard about what happened to him, it messed me up, man, because I was thinking, what if I would have called him or texted him at that moment, when he was sitting there about to do what he did. So that's why, now, if I'm thinking about, if you're watching this and we're friends, and you get a random call or a text from me, that's probably why. Because something just tells me, say, hey, reach out to this person, see how they're doing.
Yeah.
Man, you don't never know. People battle stuff all the time that you just don't know, and they walk around and like everything's fine, but it's not. But yeah, man, Shane was. I mean, he was my brother, dude. He was my brother from another mother.
Yeah, and he was a brother for everybody. I remember the first time I met him. Was the first time I met Willie G from New School Wrestling, and I got booked on that show, and I walked into the locker room, and it was at the Pit Pass in Graham, North Carolina, and it was like, yeah, it's gonna be you and Shane Martin, and I had never heard of him. I didn't know who he was, but he was just a big stocky dude, and I was like, okay, well, this is gonna be interesting because this dude is jacked. And we went out there, and he was like, yo, man, what you want to do? Whatever. And he was one of those guys that would just, as long as you knew what you were doing, he would give your body to him. Yeah, he would give his body up to you. And he would always say, what's up, little man, to me every time. But it was more so because of my size rather than my height. I was always taller than he was. So you definitely shout out to Shane Martin, continue to rest, of course, bro, because we miss you a lot. One of the things in your career that always stood out to me is like now that you talk about is the doubt that you've had in yourself. Talk about the doubt that you, and especially from the Iron Man match, the doubt that you had for yourself before then to the confidence that you have in yourself now. What helped you in that transition?
Well, the biggest thing's sitting over here across the room from me, my fiance, Tabby. She taught me not only how to love somebody, but how to be loved. Because up until that point, I mean, I was married. I was married, had a kid, thought everything was great. But to be quite honestly, that situation was what killed my confidence. That situation is what put so much doubt in me. Because I constantly had someone telling me that I was wasting my time, that it was a hobby, that I wasn't good enough, that I need to quit doing this childish shit and man up and that kind of stuff, It's like when you're trying so hard to do something and you don't have support, you can do it, but it's so much harder, That's really, honestly, that's where most of my self-doubt came from, And then it was a lot of just I've got body dysmorphia, I guess you can call it. I was always a smaller guy. I don't think I'm big now. I mean, I weigh 193 pounds, but I just don't ever think I'm big enough. I don't ever think I'm strong enough. That doesn't mean I ain't going to get in the ring and stand toe-to-toe with you. But at the same time, it's like I want the best for myself, but I don't know if I'll ever reach that level. I don't know if it's ever going to be enough. I hope so. I think this year is going to be a big barometer for that because I've got a new attitude coming into everything. I'm just having fun, but I'm also taking this thing seriously. I don't want people to think that here's this. I saw somebody put a post up the other day about people talk about the kids, the vets that talk about the kids all the time and, snot-nosed punks, and they don't know respect or nothing. But there's guys who are over 20 years in the business that don't have any respect either, that, they're too busy worrying about, downing other people. They're not even focusing on themselves, and you got to get in the ring with them, and you got to carry them because they don't take care of themselves. They're still trying to hold on to some kind of dream. You know what I'm saying? They want to just be a wrestler because that's all they know. And I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy that's still doing this just because it's my identity. You know what I mean? So even at 43, I'm in the gym almost every day here at my house. I've got a home gym, and I try to work out and eat right and get in shape because I mean I don't want somebody to look across the ring from me and be like, oh, look at this guy, he's out of shape, or I got to carry him or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to wrestle me just because he's the guy that's the gatekeeper or whatever. He's the old guy that's around. I want you to tell promoters, I want to work with Sean Cruz.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. I see that you have a lot of animated horror stuff in your background. Have you ever thought about wearing a mask?
Oh, I've worn masks before. Yeah.
Really?
When I did my American tradition gimmick, which I had a lot of fun with that, to be honest. I really enjoyed that. And then me and my partner, Stephen Idle, shout out to the Pitbull. We were the American Pitbulls. And, man, we had a lot of fun together. But, yeah, I used to wear, as a matter of fact, I just saw a movie. I can't remember what else off the top of my head. But the guy was wearing the paintball mask. It was the legit one that I used to wear. But it was like red, white, and blue. It looked like a mask that they'd wear on like Call of Duty Ghost or something like that.
Gotcha.
And then I wore another one. I can't remember what it was. But as far as like a hood, like to wrestle in, there's a somewhere in the annals of wrestling in the Carolinas. There used to be a little company called CCWF, which was the Carolina Championship Wrestling Federation, that was started by me and a bunch of buddies before we even knew what the hell we were doing. Just to be honest, like we were just a bunch of kids, and we were able to get a ring, and we rented a building. But I mean, we drew money. We drew 200-300 people every show. We run 6 shows. Never lost any money. I mean, it was fun. And I used to go under the hood as Luchador Fantastico. So if you can find any footage on that, good luck. But it's probably out there somewhere. That was a lot of fun too.
You said Luchador Fantastico?
Ridiculous. What's that?
You said Luchador Fantastico?
Luchador Fantastico, which I think translates to the Fantastic Wrestler, maybe. I don't know. That's what I came up with. It was so bad. I had a T-shirt with I had a Hispanic flag or whatever stitched onto it. It was literally a Rey Mysterio mask. Hell, it's probably one I bought from George South years ago. if I'm being honest, at an old wrestling show. It was white and it had the red with the red diamond. Oh, it was so bad. Kids loved it, but like I said, we didn't know what the hell we were doing back then. Like I didn't know anything about respect or marking out or any of that stuff. So, and that's the one thing I will say. Before you know about all that kind of stuff and all the etiquette, it's just fun. And then it gets to that point where it's like you're walking on eggshells because you don't know, oh, I can't say this, I can't do this. I better go around and shake everybody's hand. I need to do this. And then it's like you get the overthinking stuff. And then it even got to a point in my career where I tried so hard. Like I thought that I could go out with a guy and have like a good, like Roosevelt, have a good 10, 12 minute solid match, hit every single spot. We put it online. It's going to go viral. We're going to be the next like CM Punk and Colt Cabana, when they did their whole tape trading thing. And that's how they got signed. But it doesn't work that way. So I would beat myself up if, like I said, the match went 99% well, but I blew that one spot. I would be thinking the whole time, if only we'd have hit every spot, if only we'd have done it perfect, then, it would blow up. It just, I was misinformed, I guess. I was a little delusional maybe back in those days. But yeah, boy, I got off on a rant on that. I'm bad for that, y'all. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you good, man. What's something that you
work under a hood? Here's a quick fun story though with the hood. Actually, so Dax Harwood back when he was in the Indies was KC McKnight, and we did a show in Wallace. Matter of fact, where I'm living at now. It's crazy, full circle. And it was a luchador show, right? So the promoter called me and was like, "Hey, I want you to do your Luchador Fantastico thing." Now this is after I was already in the business of Sean Cruz. And I was like, man, I don't know, because I knew about the respect and the reverence of the semblance and significance of the luchador mask. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And he's like, oh, come on, man, they're not going to care. Now, this was the promoter. This wasn't Dax Harwood. This was the promoter and booker. And he said, oh, they just want a paycheck like you do or whatever, right? So he convinced me to do it. So I went out. He said, we're going to put you in there with KC. He was heavyweight champion at the time. It was going to be a little, squash deal or whatever. He just wanted to put me under a hood. So I went out there and I did my whole ridiculous, luchador thing, and I will never forget it. The first spot of the match, he hits me with a European uppercut, and I was wearing contacts at the time before I had LASIK, and he knocked my contact into like the third row. So, like, I had to do the whole match with one contact, which was wild. But yeah, so yeah, I've had a little fun under hoods, but yeah, that was a wild situation though, because afterwards we ended up going to the local McDonald's, and those guys were there, the luchadors, and they were pissed. They literally almost started a fight with me because it's a respect thing, and I would never do something like that again. I mean, if I see a guy now on a show that's got like a Rey Mysterio or La Parka mask or something that he's about to wrestle in, I'll pull him to the side and be like, "Hey, just so you know, this is not what you're supposed to be doing," and they can listen or they can't. But I mean, I would feel bad knowing that this guy went out there and did this not knowing he weren't supposed to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think when I was introduced to you, you were the Carolina Classic, man. Can you talk about how you came out with the Carolina Classic character?
Honestly, man, it's not even characters. It's just monikers. It's just names. I thought it sounded cool. I was from Carolina. I was a classic wrestler. I thought I could do something with that, but it never fully fleshed out, or I never gave it a chance to fully flesh out. I even had Tabby make me a robe and all that. I never had a robe in my entire career. I tried doing that for a while. It just didn't feel like me. I don't know. I mean, it was fun. It's been a journey trying to really discover like who I am, as far as a person and a wrestler. But yeah, the Carolina Classic thing, I don't know. It made for cool T-shirts, and stickers, but like, yeah, I don't know that it ever really caught on. I guess I'm very impatient. I don't give things a chance to catch on. I'm so afraid if I'm wasting time, then I got to pivot and go to the next thing. Or I used to be. I'm not like that anymore.
Yeah. Talk about you mentioned being part of Team Pit Bulls. What other factions or tag teams have you been involved with?
Oh wow! So it's funny because out of Tennessee now, Jeff Conley and Jeff Baker are doing a group called The Faction. And when I first got into wrestling, we were doing the CCWF thing. The little group we had was literally called The Faction. So that was the first one I was in. God, after that, let's see. What did we call ourselves? I can't even remember now. It was me, Tracy Gilbert, Dave Dawson, and Josh Hunter. And I, for the life of me, can't remember what we called ourselves. We were called a tag team. We were called Perfect Creation. But I don't remember what the whole group was called. Yeah, Team Pitbull. Well, the American Pitbulls was first. And then actually Baron Bullard came to me and was like, "Hey, what do y'all think about forming a group together? Because he's the Pembroke Pitbull. We were the American Pitbulls. We'll just be Team Pitbull." So that's kind of how all that came about. I think that's it. I don't know. It's weird because I've been doing this for so long. I know there's a lot of guys that have better memories than I do, and they can remember certain matches and where they were at and this. I can't. Maybe it's the concussions. I don't know. I've had quite a few concussions. I mean, yeah.
Talk about that for a second. Talk about the injuries that you sustained in your professional career.
Jeez. Well, let's see. I'll go back to the first one I sustained, which was in the backyard. I know we're not supposed to talk about backyard wrestling, but we started there. I mean, we didn't do nothing crazy, although we did use stop signs. So I had a guy in the corner. I put a stop sign on his face. I was on the other side of the ring. I took off running to drop kick it. He decided, I don't want to do this. Took the stop sign, threw it like a Frisbee right into my shin. It actually bounced off my bone. So that was the first. I had to get stitches for that. I got power bombed through a sheet of pinball glass. That was fun. I have a scar on my right wrist from that because it's the glass they put in the pinball games. And so we had a sheet on 2 trash cans, and nobody had told me that it was that glass that explodes on impact. So it's not like shards and it'll really cut you and mess you up. So when he power bombed me on it, I mean, it made for a great visual. If I can ever track down the video, I'll send you a copy. It made for a great visual. But when it exploded, it literally went into my arm like somebody had shot me with glass. Yeah, so that was the second one. Numerous concussions. I can't tell you how many at this point. Let's see. Broken thumb, torn ligaments in this thumb, broken collarbone, cracked orbital bone, broke my nose twice, torn ACL and meniscus. Currently dealing with a grade 2 AC joint sprain, they call it, but it's a complete tear.
Grade 3.
Is it grade 3? I'm sorry, baby. Yeah, I'll even show it to you. Look, it's great. Look, isn't that pretty?
Good. Great.
Yep, isn't that pretty right there? So yeah, my collarbone's basically almost sticking out of my skin. So that happened last year, and I didn't miss a match. I literally wrestled with a sling it's like a shoulder harness for about maybe 2 months. Yeah, because after having the match with him and him telling me no matter what, don't quit because he was going to be on my neck and on my ass, I couldn't. So, had to keep going. God, what else?
I will have to admit that the shoulder sling did make you look cool.
What's that?
The shoulder sling did make you look cool.
I don't know, man. I thought maybe like an old broke down man.
Nah, I thought it was cool.
Gray beard at the time too. Yeah, I got through some tough matches with that thing, man. I had one with Justin Flash at AIWF, and I was having to wear that. And that was the first time I've known him forever, and I always wanted to work with him. We finally got a chance, and of course, I'm busted up. So hopefully, I get a chance to run it back with him this year. Being, I won't say 100% healthy because I'll never be 100% healthy. Let's be honest. But that's not going to mean I'm not going to perform to my best abilities.
Real quick, I want you to do something for me, Sean.
Absolutely.
I want you to take a second and look in the camera, and I want you to talk to all of the major companies and tell them why it is that they are missing out on the opportunity to have Sean Cruz as part of their roster.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm versatile. I can do anything you need me to do. Any spots you need me to do, well, within reason. Not as athletic as some of the guys, but I'm intense. Everything I do looks good. It looks real. I'm very, very passionate, sometimes to a fault, but that's okay. But, yeah, I love the wrestling business. I love entertaining people. I'm not afraid to do whatever I need to do to get your guy over, get the point of whatever we're trying to, the business of the match, the business of the promo, the business of whatever needs to be over. I'll be the first one there. I'll be the last one to leave. Whatever you need me to do. Like I'm here to. What did they say? Tide raises all ships. I can't think of it right now, but yeah, I'm here to not just help myself, but to help everybody else out. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I didn't start out at one of the major schools. I'll be honest. But I've picked up a lot of knowledge along the way, and I love, pushing that knowledge forward, paying it forward to people. And the biggest thing, I just want to leave wrestling better than I found it.
Well, absolutely. Well, you know what? I think this is the perfect time to show a little chops, man. We have the segment called Promo Battles.
Oh,
and I want you to go head to head with
this guy,
Roosevelt. I want you to cut a scathing promo. I want you to pull scathing. I want you to pull the words from your guts. You know what I'm saying? I want to see the Iron Man Sean Cruz. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna do this thing. Roosevelt, you got first?
Sean got first.
Oh, he's gonna make me go first. I was about to say I like him. I can't be mean. You said scathing.
Not today. You hate his guts. All right, let's do this thing. Beautiful people, prepare yourself. We are going to war. It's on you, Sean.
Oh, it's on me. It's always on me. It's always on me. The camera should always be on me at all times. Everybody's eyes should be on me at all times. That's why you're going to keep staring. And there's one guy who's been staring at me for a long time, and that's Roosevelt. Yeah, Roosevelt. Yeah, you know what? I got to give you some props and respect. You have helped me through some very tough times in my life, in this wrestling business, this sport, and I'm forever thankful for that. But what I'm not thankful for is the fact that everybody wants to say Roosevelt is better than Sean Cruz. Roosevelt, I'd rather put him in this spot than Sean Cruz. Roosevelt has more intensity than Sean Cruz. Let me explain something to you and everybody else out there. There is nobody in this sport, in this business, hell, on this planet that has more intensity than Sean Cruz. There is nobody that loves this business, has more passion and respect for this business than Sean Cruz. Now, I'll guarantee you this. You put me and Roosevelt in a ring together, we are going to make magic. We are going to hit each other hard. We're going to slam each other hard. We're going to throw each other from pillar to freaking post. We're going to make every person who steps in that building that pays a ticket to see us believe we're real and that this sport is real. But Roosevelt, you know it just like everybody else is going to know it soon. I'm better than you. Maybe just a little bit. But that's all it takes.
Oh, man. Iron Man. Sean Cruz. Keep staring. It's on you.
John Cena. What take you so long to respond to my challenges? Because I know deep down in my heart, I know it's not that you don't think I'm worthy of your time. In fact, I'm very, very certain that you believe deep down in your heart I would expose you. If you and I stepped in the ring, I'm going to expose you for the fake that you are and that you have always been for years. You walk around talking about the hustle, the loyalty, and the respect. You're giving out challenges, saying if you want some, come get some. When I'm standing right here telling you I want the smoke.
That's the wrong person.
On to my challenge, John.
John Cena is the wrong person.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sean. Just like the rest of the wrestling world, I forgot you were there.
Touche, sir. Touche.
Well, damn. You woke up and chose violence. Oh, man. Well, damn.
No, see, wrong. They ain't forgot that I'm here. They just refuse to acknowledge me. Straight up. I couldn't tell you how many people will be in my inbox to my face talking about, man, I love what you're doing, and man, I hope we get a chance to work together and all this, but publicly will not acknowledge me.
And that's why you tell them what, Sean? What'd you tell him? What'd you tell him, Sean?
I tell him keep staring. Because
there you go.
Let me tell you something. This is my goal this year, right? Everybody who is ever doubted me or won't public acknowledge me or has left me on red as a booker or promoter, I want them to be reaching out to me by the end of this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be so good at what I do that whether you personally like me or not, you have to have me on your show because it's a good business decision.
Absolutely. Oh, man. Sean staking his claim, marking his territory.
Damn right.
I think this is going to be a year, sir. I know this is going to be a year, and I can't wait to see the violence that you inflict on people this year.
Oh, if you want to see it, this Saturday is when I'm going to start it.
Oh man, pure violence.
And talk about the show that you have coming up this Saturday.
So this Saturday, February 1st, I will be in a battle royal for Wrestling with Purpose. It's a call your shot type battle royal where the winner gets to decide whatever title they want to go after. There's the poster there. Look at all those talented individuals that's going to be in there with me. And I've already said it. I put it out on the internet. Everybody's already seen it. I think it's already got like 600 something views in like a day. That I'm going to win. I'm going to throw every single person over the top rope if I can. I would love to start number one and throw everybody out myself. That's my goal. But it's gonna be a great show there. Like it's George South, Baby Doll. He's gonna be there. I think it's some kind of a benefit for the school. Usually they do benefits, so that's cool. And then some of the local kids that actually graduated from that high school are going to be on the show wrestling too, because they're trained wrestlers now. So it's pretty cool for anybody who's in the Laurinburg area to come out and check that out Saturday night.
Real quick, before we make a big transition, talk about the product now in terms of like WWE ID. What are your thoughts and your feelings on that?
Man, the WWE ID thing I think is a good opportunity for a lot of people. Some of the ones that they've picked I know already. Some of the ones that they've picked I personally never heard of, but that's because I don't follow everything. But I think it's a good opportunity. Anytime you can get those letters behind your name in any capacity, I think it's a good idea. I'm excited. I know that Jackson Drake's been ID'd. I think he's got a huge future, obviously. I mean, we knew him and Jay Malachi or Javon Evans, whatever, both had a future even when they were little kids. But yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think you should be ID'd, my friend. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest.
Who, me? I get carded sometimes.
No, not you, Brian.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say I get carded sometimes at the grocery store.
I was gonna say you probably get ID'd for different reasons.
Yeah, different reasons. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, look, man, you have been dropping jewels this entire show, man, and we have this segment at the end of each show where we like to give a little bit of motivation. We like to give either a word that comes through you or a statement, some motivation, something positive. So I'm going to ask you, Sean Cruz, do you have a final word for your beautiful subjects?
Well, I mean, the only two words you need to worry about are keep staring, because that's what I want everybody to be doing, and that's what everybody's going to be doing this year. By the end of the year, I promise you, everybody's going to be talking about me, and not in a negative way for once. So, but no, seriously, man. Like anybody who knows me and has known me for a long period of time knows how emotional, how hot-headed, how short-tempered I have been in the past. But I don't know if it's through my engagement to my wonderful fiance, through finally getting out of that 14-year situation that I was in, just being a happier person overall. But like I found my peace. And nothing's taking my peace away from me. And there's nothing more important in this world than your peace. And you've got to look at things like everything happens for a reason. I mean, if you don't get this spot or this job or whatever, it's like, okay, it wasn't meant for me. It's not the end of the world. I'm pretty sure somebody used to tell me stuff like that, but I didn't want to listen. You know what I mean? Roosevelt. But seriously, like once you start looking at life like, okay, I got this opportunity. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, there's another one coming. Like nothing gets to me anymore. I don't get upset. We haven't had one argument. We've been together 16 months. I don't fight with people. I don't. I had like I was telling you earlier, Brian, off air, all the momentum I had built up last year in the two major companies I was working at, all ended in the same year. Just both opportunities, gone. All that time, wasted. And I could have looked at that and argued and yelled and fought and screamed and why? Why? It was there for a reason. It was there for a season. And that was it. It was a life lesson. Okay? And I'm going to move on to the next one. Like when I honestly say, like, I'll go to shows or I'll go be out in public wherever and people see me and they're like, man, you've never looked happier. You've never looked more positive. You've never looked like a better person. And it's because it's the truth, you know? And it's all because it's Abby. She makes me want to be a better person. So all I can say is if you don't have somebody in your life that makes you want to be a better person for yourself. Be a better person for your kids. Be a better person for your mom, your grandma, whoever it is. You never know who's watching. You never know who's looking up to you. You never know who you're inspiring, you know? And I think that's the biggest thing is just, and with the world the way it is right now, with the current political climate, I'm not getting into all that, but people are losing their minds, man. And if they would just sit back and take a breath and figure it out, the next step, you know, it's just, I used to be a person that hated life. I hated my life. I did, you know, and people thought that like, when I was on my biggest run a few years ago, when I was doing the whole unfiltered thing, everybody thought like, man, you got it all. You got it made. That was the absolute most miserable I've been in my entire life. And maybe that's why everything on the wrestling side was so good or intense. It's because I was throwing everything into it because I was trying to forget everything else. So you just have to find that balance. You've got to find that peace, whatever that is to you. And don't let nobody influence your decision, whatever you want to do. You know, if you want to get a Zen garden, if you want to take up knitting, if you want to, whatever. Because ultimately it's your life. You know what I'm saying? And it's your life to live and you only get one. And just get up with a positive attitude every day, man.
Absolutely. Bunch of gems in that thing, man. That is a final word from the one and only Sean Cruz. Oh, man. Roosevelt, do you have a final word for the beautiful people?
Absolutely. And my final word actually comes from my son. Every day, sometimes I send him little dad jokes or something, some type of video in the morning before he starts his school day to kind of get him motivated. And I talked to him before we got on the show. And right before I got off the phone with him, he said, Daddy, I want to give you a quote that I've been thinking about, and I want you to carry it with you. And he's only 9. And I said, okay, what you got? He said, in order for me to hurt, I must first feel it. And he was like, pretty much people are going to talk about you, but words don't mean so much. It's the physical of what I need to be, what I need to feel in order to be hurt. Not so much as what someone says. And I said, you know what? I like that. I like that a lot. He was like, Daddy, take that with you. He said, don't worry about what someone may say about you. They just need something to do. And I always tell them, you know, people will talk about you or they're going to bother you or find ways to annoy you because they just need something to do. And he said, don't let no one take you out of your character and make you feel like you're not great. So my final word, Superstar Rome's final word, is in order for me to feel hurt, to be hurt, I must first feel it. That is the final word for the best. Damn nation.
Oh, man. Great word from your boy, Roosevelt. All right, real quick, Sean Cruz, what you got going on and where can the people find you?
Oh, man, I got a pretty, not super stacked February, but I got a few shows coming up. Like I said, we got Wrestling Purpose, February 1st, February 7th. I'll be in Southern Pines for Beer and Brainbusters, which is a cross promotion between ACW and Firestar Pro Wrestling. February 15th, I will be making my Alpha Underground debut in Burlington. That's going to be a fun one. Looking forward to that a lot. And actually got some non-wrestling stuff going the weekend after that. Me and Tabby are going to be volunteering at Mad Monster Party in Concord, which is basically a horror convention. Like they do the Comic-Cons and the wrestling conventions. It's just all horror people. So that's cool. That's one of my things. And that's another thing I'm trying to do this year too is like, man, last year I had 130 matches or something like that. And in the last half of the year, probably after October, I didn't wrestle that much. So the majority of them were from January to like September. And I don't plan on killing myself this year. I'm not saying I'm not going to work and get out there, but it's going to have to be worth it. And I'm going to take time to do some things outside of wrestling too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much February. And then, you know, I got some scattered dates throughout the rest of the year so far. But like, I want to stay busy, but not to the point where it's overwhelming. But also know that if you pay me to do a job, I'm going to show up and do it and continue to do it to the best of my ability, because that's all I've ever done. I don't know but one gear, and that's full speed ahead, you know, pedal to the floor.
We don't forget, you're also going to be Commissioner Gordon in the film.
Yeah, I didn't know if we could talk about that. I thought we had like an NDA or something.
No. You can talk about
okay. Yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I know it got pushed back a little bit. But yeah, I'm super excited about that, because I've done a little extra work for like Netflix and Amazon, but I haven't done any real acting outside of wrestling. I've always loved acting, always wanted to be an actor. Plus, I get to fight with this guy. That'll be fun.
Well, I definitely can see that, man. I think that you have a great voice, and I hope that this year you have some projects that allow you to discover your voice. You know what I'm saying? So I can definitely see you doing your own podcast, or you doing a horror
we've
show.
talked about that. Me and Tabby have talked about doing a podcast. We just don't know what to do it on,
man. If you guys love horror movies, I mean, you can do some horror movie reviews. You know what I'm saying? Hell, we might have you on the show for a horror movie review with Sean Cruz. You know what I'm
good with that. You know, they've got wrestling horror movies.
Yeah, they do.
Like cheap, you know, ones, but yeah, no theatrical releases, but like B movies. But yeah, we can do something like that. I love that, man.
Matter of fact, let's get into it real quick.
Anytime you guys want to. I mean, normally on Wednesdays I'm training, but
let's get into it real quick. Who do you think is the biggest movie villain of all time? And it can be horror movies. It can be movie villain.
Jeez. Like just general piece of shit, or like an actual killer?
Wherever direction you want to go.
Because I mean, if you just said TV, I would have had to have said Game of Thrones, Prince Joffrey. That little shit. Oh, I ain't never wanted to punch somebody so hard in my life. What were you watching recently? There was something we saw, and you're like, God, I hate him so much. I said, well, he's doing his job as a villain. We watched stuff I can't remember. I'll put it to you this way. My favorite of all time, hard not to pick the Joker on that one, but I will say this. I'm going to go hot take. Heath Ledger is not the best Joker of all time. I know a lot of people think
Blasphemy.
Nope. Oh, I'm a blasphemy even worse. It goes Jack Nicholson.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Jared Leto.
Hell no.
Heath Ledger. Do you right quick?
Are you serious?
Listen,
I used to like you. I don't know what happened.
Tattoos, take away the gold teeth with Jared Leto and watch his performance and tell me he wasn't a better Joker. Heath Ledger was a good mental patient. I didn't get Joker from him. It was a great performance, don't get me wrong. But I don't think he was a great Joker. Just my opinion.
I'd have to highly
disagree. I'm the biggest villain of all time now.
There you go. You took the reins for that. I always about to say the grandma off of Titanic. I thought that she was absolutely a horrible person.
Wow, grandma off Titanic.
Yeah, what was her name?
No. I'm sorry. Can I change my answer? Here's the worst villain of all time. Jenny from Forrest Gump.
Jenny from Forrest Gump pretty bad.
Jenny from Forrest Gump.
Okay, let's do this.
That man loved her, and he went after her, did everything he could. She catches AIDS and is dying, comes back with his kid, and then she wants to be with him.
No, well, that's bad, but I also got to say, what was her name? Kate. She was engaged to a guy, leaves him to fool around with somebody that was younger than her. And then at the end of the movie, when he dies, and she could have slid over. She could have slid over a little bit, let him get on there. But she did. You know what I'm saying? she let him die. And then when she, at the end of the movie, instead of setting her family up for success, she held on to this priceless diamond and then threw it in the water.
I mean, you ain't
And she
wrong.
could have set her family up for life. And then when she died, she didn't go back to her husband. She went back to Leo ass. She like her husband been dead waiting on her, and she gonna die and then go back to him.
You know
I
what,
think
man?
she's a great
That's hard to argue.
You know what I'm saying? We got to wear those out, but yeah, we got to do this again with Sean Cruz, man. We might have to do a movie review with Sean Cruz.
All day. I'll talk movies all day. I love it.
Absolutely, man. Look, it's been absolute pleasure having you on the show, man. We got to have you in the show for us. You down with this?
Absolutely, brother. You know I'm ready.
Right. So I'm gonna say we will see you next week on the next best. I'm going to point to you. I want you to say the word damn. Hopefully your pastor ain't around. Hopefully ain't no little kids running around the house right now. But I want you to say damn with conviction. I want you to pull that damn out that only Sean Cruz can say it. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Beautiful people, best damnation. We will see you next week on the next best
damn
wrestling podcast. I think I peed a little bit.
That's what my girl just said. I think he peed his pants.
Yeah, I peed a little bit. Yeah, it's a little moist. Oh man, Sean Cruz, we got to have you back on here, man. You are now a member of the Best Damn Crew, man. Thank you for being on the show. You're welcome back anytime. And I think we got some matches that we're trying to put together, man. I want to definitely see you and Roosevelt go at it.
I want it, man. I want Roosevelt. I want anybody. Well, I ain't gonna say anybody because I'm sorry. I want the top guys. I'm done with just anybody.
There you go.
The names. I want the guys that are currently in AEW, TNA. Like, give me my shot, man. That's all I need.
Yeah. Give me my shot or get out the way.
That's right. Just keep staring. I'm gonna take it.
I'm gonna keep taking it. Oh man, Sean Cruz, you are a gentleman and a scholar, sir. Thank you so much for being on the platform. If you guys want to check out the show, you can check us out on all our platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. For those listening to us in Radio Land, thank you for listening to us on Pandora, iHeartRadio, all of those places. Anywhere that you can get your podcast, you can listen to the boys at the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast, and we appreciate y'all. Shout out to the truckers. We got love for all the truckers, man. Thank y'all for what y'all do running this country. You are the lifeblood of this country, and you listen to the boys of the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast, and we appreciate y'all. And for everybody that listen to us in Brussels, just all over the damn world, France, Morocco, all the places that listen to you boys and the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast, we appreciate y'all, and we love y'all like play cousins. We can't hold y'all no longer. Check us out on all our platforms. We will see you next week. We bid you adieu.